September the 14th, 2024. Guys, you're looking at images of Gary Melton. His YouTube site is Paramount Tactical. See that right there? This was dated yesterday. And this is part 2 of Charlie Kirk, what really happened. And you'll see part 1 right before this. And I'd mentioned that in my first video on Charlie Kirk that I took down for a reason, that other people were doing the same thing. And Gary has come in on part 2 and basically said what I did yesterday about taking it down. He didn't take his down, but he said that things just aren't quite right. At first, he said that there was the metal plate, or like a breastplate that Charlie was wearing. And then there's pictures that show Charlie's nipple. But then Gary explains that there are some types of padding or vest that will fit between the nipples. And I'll show you that video because it's easy to see that that's obvious. And it really does make it very well hidden. But I got a couple of extra videos since I've talked to you guys, and I may be very close to figuring out what's going on. We never know for sure. But I'm going to go through this, and again, this is Paramount Tactical. Gary, again, he is retired Special Forces. And let me just pull up the bio so that you know that he is very close to what we're trying to figure out. He's got the experience to know. And in the bio, in the description under the video, guys, it says Gary Melton is a former U.S. Army Special Forces Green Beret, weapons sergeant, and sniper team leader with 4 combat tours. He has worked full-time as a unit chief and special tactics instructor at a federal agency and is the owner and lead instructor for Paramount Tactical Solutions. He knows what he's talking about, but the images are so different than what we've ever seen before that he's having to do the same thing. Like I said, put out an opinion and then keep studying it, keep looking at it after you do your first video, and start to see other anomalies that stick out once you observe them. So let's get to that point for a moment. Now, this still shot is from a different angle, or a different camera at a different angle that I used in our first video. And it was the camera that I was seeing was more to the right of this image. And this lapel mic looked much thinner because I was seeing the very edge, and I'd never seen one that thin. But in this picture and one other one, you can see that this thing is about a 1/2 inch thick. It's still hard to see. And there's a couple of questions. And people say, well, the 30-06, if it wasn't a plate there wasn't some type of vest, then it hit his collarbone and then went up into his neck. Well, first of all, I have a 30-06, one of the old good ones, not the cheap Walmart ones that you saw and that this guy had. But a collarbone would not even slow a bullet down, guys. Not a 30-06. It would shatter it. The bullet would not slow down a millimeter. So you're not going to ricochet a 30-06 off someone's collarbone up into their neck. It's just going to plow right through, and it's going to leave a very, very narrow opening at the entrance side. And then on the back side, or the exit point, you're going to have a very big hole. If you've ever shot a 30-06 or seen that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These are big bullets, very powerful, very fast. Now I'm going to put forward a new perspective. No one said it yet, but looking at the different image that I've seen, we're going to go there. Now, these are different angles of the images that I had in my first video also. I looked for a lot of them yesterday afternoon. And here, as he bends over, you can see the black vest up under his T-shirt from this angle. Now, and I also read that his wife insisted he always wear one. So, again, there it is. And notice the folks that are to the right, as I got it paused there, you can see the vest very, very clearly here. A lot of people on the other side of that fence, but right before the shot, there was a lot of people inside that perimeter, right on the front left or the front right, if from Charlie's angle, of that blue table there. They were sitting right there. One guy was fooling with hats when the shot was heard, and another fellow was looking the other way. But it was kind of crowded right in the very area that I think whatever shot it was came from. Now, go back to the video that I did a few days ago, I think the 11th or something like that. Anyway, it shows the shooter's supposedly location here, shot 520 feet, came in to the right side of the stage, but if Charlie's sitting on the stage looking out, it would be to his left side. But I think the bullet came from right here in this section between the stage and this first little section of grass right there. And behind that, there was people moving in all directions behind there. Now, what I want to do is look at the slow motion video that we put together for that first one. And with the newer information, now we know there's a breastplate. And by the way, I did look at the ring on the that some people said moved from the ring finger to the pinky, but it didn't, guys. In super slow motion and a close-up, you can tell it's just kind of the blur the way he's tilting his hand. His ring was still on his ring finger. Now, again, here is the edge of the lapel mic, and you can watch as we go through. Now, let's go super slow motion. You're going to see that dot move, and that's the lapel mic. See, now it's under his throat. We thought that was a bullet moving, but you're not going to see it like that. And then it hit his throat, but there's frames in between there. Check that out. Now, one of the things that has been speculated on, I'm not saying it's wrong or anything, is that there was a speck just above the O on the Freedom t-shirt there that could have been an impact, but guys, in some of the closer looks at it, it was a fragment that looked like a speck under where the spot is on his neck now. But that, I think it was a fragment because it continued moving from that spot over his shoulder. And it was either a fragment of the microphone or the actual fragment of the bullet. So we don't have a hole in the shirt. We don't have an exit wound. We have a sideways slice. Looks like about the size of a section of that microphone that was clipped to his shirt. And everything's moving to the right. Notice the way that it knocked him over to his left, as if the bullet came from that direction, or the impact did. If a 30-06 had come in on the other side of this guy's head, you see with a red hat, and hit Charlie there, it would have knocked him out of that chair and rolled him in the back the opposite direction and rolled him backwards, probably flipping him back. The impact of a 30-06, guys, can, if you've never shot one, can be highly underestimated. It can take out a car motor, okay? And it has no problem with human flesh at all. But we don't have an exit wound. We don't have any holes in the shirt. Could it be that the bullet would have missed him that was coming up through there, or that, or maybe it would have hit him anyway on the other side of the neck? But the lapel mic may have, the impact into the lapel mic may have knocked him over in the direction you're seeing now. And then, again, either a fragment of the bullet passes right under it or a fragment of the mic itself. Now, let's look at that section, guys, from this angle. Again, this is the lapel mic. Nothing's happened yet. Charlie closes his eyes, and the nightmare begins. There you see some movement. And it was here, then it was here. Now, notice this spot. Some people said that was a first drop of blood. Some said it was where the bullet ricocheted off, but did you notice it move in that last frame? And it doesn't look like it really hit Charlie. In other words, if a bullet impacted in this area, that lapel mic, which is gone, and that looks very similar to the impact shape, especially if it went in sideways and you created that slit, and then this is when the blood started to rise. But again, this, if you look at this and back it up, this fragment right there moved from here to here as if it's not hitting Charlie. When I first saw it, I thought it was maybe the first drop of blood. until it moved. But you can back that up and check it out, guys. But I think this is very close to what we're seeing. And there's been a lot of misinformation come out, not just from YouTubers, guys, but from the people at the top. Don't know what's going on. We're keeping an eye on it. A lot of things happening right now. But it's a heads up, guys. Enjoy your Sunday and be safe.